Really? Come on, let's hear some noise. All the way around the room. Keep it clapping, keep it going. Please welcome the brilliant, the one and only Mr. John Hastings.
Hello, Brighton. How are you? Are you well? Yes, awesome to be here. Very good. What's up? Yeah, one guy's wooing. They're chatting for some fucked up reason. What are you guys talking about? You can't be upset you brought this on yourself. Yeah, was it her fucking fault? What were you guys talking about? Nothing? You better fucking tell me or I will fucking kick that bottle of wine. Way to move out of the way, brave guy. You're on a date. Try and impress her, not, uh-oh, there's gonna be violence. Nature Boy Ric Flair's here. Thank you, some of you, for getting that joke. Yeah. That's how funny I am. You guys interrupted with your chat about nothing. Were you guys just saying gibberish to each other? All right, let's get into it. Not from here, obviously. I'm from Canada. Came to the UK 2 years ago, and I love living here now that I'm used to it, but this was not the nation I was expecting. I thought in my head the UK was going to be an island full of grannies waiting to give me tea and advice. Because in Canada, all of our grannies are from the UK, and that's what they do. But that's not what the UK is. The UK, it's like living inside your dad's head while he's driving. Just very angry and needlessly racist all the time. Yeah. Love it. Only in the UK will you get people going, "You are right, sir. You got us again." I love living here. I've been single the entire time I've lived here, and I've loved it. 2 years being single, because when you are single, the universe gives you something that makes you happy every time you see it. And that thing is, of course, a couple arguing in public. Nothing is greater than watching a man and a woman just standing on the corner of the street having a discussion in this tone of voice, so no one around them knows that they are in the midst of a fight. Now, the only problem with this plan is no one conveys positive information in this tone of voice. You've never been at a fancy dinner party and someone walks up to you, "Excuse me, did you prepare this chutney?" "Well, may I say it is delicious." Saw a couple as I was walking to the gig, and they were just going back and forth and back and forth. And then I knew the argument was about to come to an end because I saw a look flash on the man's face. It was a look that told me that he just remembered, "Oh yeah, I'm arguing with a woman. There's no way to win this. So I'm just going to say something ridiculous and then run away." And so he puffed the air of truth into his lungs and said in a loud voice, he said, "You know what, Donna? I don't want to hear about your periods anymore. I find them disgusting." And I thought, what a ridiculous thing to say. Because a woman's menstrual cycle is not disgusting. It is a beautiful celebration of the fact you are not a father for another 30 days. A lot of parents in tonight. Now, part of the reason I've been single is you fuckers frighten the shit out of me. Everything sexual in this country, there's no romance to it. It's just aggression. Snogging. That's your word for kissing. What the fuck is going on? Snogging. That doesn't sound like something you do to someone you like. That sounds like something you and 4 friends did to someone you hate. What happened to Bill? I'll tell you what happened to Bill. He stole 1,500 pounds from me. Me and the lads went over to his flat. We snogged the shit out of him. His mouth is so sore right now. And Paul! That's Paul! Hearing that for the first time, I was frightened. A bunch of lads in tracksuits were going out on the pole tonight. Like, oh no, someone's gonna die. Because that describes the evening where you might meet your future wife, the future love of your life, and you use that verb? Pull. Such a negative, aggressive, violent word. No one's ever been pulled into a room and given cake and compliments. You're pulled into a van and then you're never heard from again. It's just how you guys do it, how you do it, everything. It's just no poetry or romance. It's just, I want to fuck you. It's so jarring. Being on a train, my British friend just hit me on the arm. Mate, I want to fuck that girl. Where, mate? On the train? In the toilet? I don't even know how to lock that door. It's from the future. Or have an innocuous conversation with a strange lady, turn around, there's my friend to hit me on the arm and go, mate, you totally could have fucked her. I don't think I could have. She was writing us a parking ticket. And the approach is different than that in North America. Like in North America, if you see a girl you're attracted to, you and like 4 friends go up to her. It sounds much creepier than it is. They're there to help you, because I'm a straight white male. So I'm a fucking idiot. Like, given my druthers, my pickup line would be like, I want to see that titty. Right now. That's why your friends are there to be like, don't mention the titties right away. Perhaps start with job. And then you're like, yeah, I got a job for a blowjob. And then you're like, high five, right, lads? And you're like, put your hand down, put your hand down. Go up there and talk to her like a human being, and you're like, oh yeah, I will, good idea. And then you do that, and then eventually fingering. But you guys, you cut straight to the chase. Men sit in one corner of the pub playing a game called Drink All the Jaeger in the World. The women are at the bar playing a game called What's That, Rosé? We'll have it. And then you meet in front of the pub at last orders, and that's when the poetry flies. Things like, ah! Ah! Nah! And the women turn coquettishly and say something beautiful like, chips first. Which is frightening to me, frightening. The only time I've been assisted in the acquiring of a lady in this country was I was in a comedy club with my friend Tim. Now, a very funny comedian named Tim Renko. Now, something you need to know about Tim is Tim has very severe cerebral palsy. What that means is that the part of his brain that controls his muscle function doesn't work. So he shakes constantly, and he can't control any of his muscles. He's constantly contorted and spasming. But he's an amazing comedian, very funny. You should check him out. He's here, part of the Brighton Fridge. Go see his show. He's fucking great. But he wears like big billowy clothing, and he has a big bushy beard, and he walks with a walker, and he has big Ugg boots. That's not for a medical reason. He's just kind of a dick. And if you didn't laugh at that joke, Tim wrote that joke. So that means that you don't think disabled people are as funny as regular people. That makes you an asshole. Yeah. I had a lawyer look at this joke. Now, so I'm talking to this girl, and I'm trying to get in there. But I can't figure out how to do it because I'm new. I'm like, oh, I'd like to pull you into a snogging session. Like, I'm just too desperate as a man. And she's just like, no. Like, she's in London, so she's like, I'm too cool. I'm in London. I have a ridiculous job, but I'm proud of it. I'm a barista, but you're like, what the fuck? And not like a Brighton barista, like she makes the coffee in her homemade kiln that's next to the hummus that she prepared or the lima beans she grows next to her pot, next to her homemade shoe thing. And she's just like, oh, she's like, you have to awaken the bean. It's like, I don't know if you're talking about your clitoris or coffee, but I will stick my dick in hot water to see your boobs. And I'm just getting stonewalled. And Tim is a friend of mine, so he does what friends do, which is help Friends, not what you guys do, which is, oh, Bill's passed out, let's draw a dick on his face and laugh. Fucking savages. That's terrifying. You shouldn't high-five at that. If he did that to you, you should be like, yeah, fuck you! And you guys, how old are you? You guys are far past that age. Thank you for laughing correctly, and don't look offended at that, sir. How old are you? You're 37? You might want to stop smoking. No. Tim surveys the situation and he knows he needs to help out. So Tim brings his walker over. He gets in between me and the girl. He looks at the girl, looks at me, looks at the girl, looks at me, looks at the girl, and goes, "Hey, lady! You should fuck him! I had the chance, I turned him down, and look what happened to me!" It's just drinking with you people is scary, because you're professionals. I didn't know you could drink from the whiskey bottle and then eat the bottle. It's just like in Canada, we party different. Like in Canada, if you're going to get drunk, that's one type of party. Or you're going to do drugs, that's a different type of party. Or you're going to celebrate a 9-year-old girl's birthday, that's a different type of party. You professionals put that all together. Which is why I've been offered ketamine at a bar mitzvah. It just gets out of hand too quickly. One time I was in Glasgow, and I went out drinking with those savages. It's just impressive. They just eat a stick of butter and then just put vodka in their eye and go, "That's breakfast, let's go to work." And I don't say that in a condescending, insulting way. That is spoken from a place of awe. Like, how are you not dead? You just threw a banana in the bin. Instead, I don't know what this is. Unless it's in my curry, I don't want it. Call back, then you guys can get. Anyway, so I go to this party with these people after the show, and there was this girl making eyes at me, and I was like, I know what those eyes mean. So we go to the party, and it was like this hipster party. You guys know it. It's Brighton. You know the people that you guys make here? Hipsters. Those people. Like, all the men have stupid wispy mustaches. They look like they're from the future, if the future was 1890. And all the women, like, from here up look like Betty Page, and their hair is tied up in bandanas, and then below they're wearing, like, the, like, high-rise mom, like, 18 or 1980s jeans that give their ass that weird, like, frowny face look. Like their ass is going like, "My owner has no fashion sense." Anyway, so we're at this party, and I'm not used to that sort of environment. Everyone's like hip and cool. Like there's people whittling skateboards out of dreams and all this sort of stuff. And this guy comes up to me, and it looked like he'd blow-dried his hair with a bazooka. He's wearing a Matador jacket, no shirt underneath, and jeans so tight I could see his asshole from the front. And he walks up and he goes, "You want some tea, mate?" It's the most UK moment of my entire life. We're in a party surrounded by decadence, and a guy's about to punch me in the face if I don't take a cup of tea. I go, "Yes, I would like a cup of tea." So we're drinking our tea, and the tea was horrible. It had a bitter taste. It was room temperature, so I'm like choking it back, just trying to get this interaction over with. And then I go to walk away, and he goes, "Whoa, you gotta know something. There's a lot of mushrooms in that tea." You know when you hear something you're not expecting, so you want clarification? I had one of those moments where I went, "Mushrooms like for cooking?" And he went, "No, mushrooms for magic." And then he said, "But don't worry, just you and me have had the tea, and I'm leaving, so you win." Now, I don't know how you guys define winner. But where I come from, the winner is not the guy high by himself at the party. That's the loser where I come from. So I've gone from a man who may or may not make out with a beautiful woman to a man absolutely convinced there's a helicopter trying to land on my head. So I did what any one of you would have done in that situation. I went into the kitchen to fill the sink full of water. That way if the helicopter gets too close, I'll put my head in that water. Helicopters can't land in water. That's science. Went in, got the water going. As the water's filling the sink, I have those thoughts you have when you're newly high. Things like, who invented water? Was it a man who couldn't stop sweating? I can't seem to stop sweating. Did I invent water? Water reached the appropriate height. I turn the taps off. I turn around. There's the girl that was making eyes with me earlier in the evening. She's standing there in her drunken girl glory, holding her shoes in her hand. She just looks at me and goes, "Hey! We should kiss." And I said, "That is a very good idea. That way the helicopter will not know which head to land on." We will be safe. And to show you how drunk she was, that did not faze her at all. We began to kiss. Kissing led to the removal of clothing, and the removal of clothing led to 10 minutes of the most awkward lovemaking I have ever been a part of. It's just because I felt like a presence in the room, like there was darkness creeping, and you can't have sex when one person's drunk and the other person's high on psychedelics because one person wants to throw up and the other person knows there's a tiger. 10 minutes in, she stops me, which can be a good thing. Like, girl stops and goes like, "Oh, you're doing a good job." I don't know, no girl's ever said it to me that way. Just direct like a boss during a performance review. These reports reflect that my vagina is stimulated. Like, have you seen the pie chart? You are mostly finding the clitoris, or finding, because finding is not a word yet. She stops me and she whispers in that sexy way women can whisper. Because, man, we cannot whisper sexy. We can whisper rapey. Better than anyone in the biz, my friend. Doesn't even need to be sexual. Could just be, hello. Goodbye. So she leans in and she whispers, she says, I don't know how to, stop trying to guess the fucking punchline. I can fucking hear you. You're 3 feet away, and you're doing that drunk man whispering where you're just speaking slower and yet still shouting, "What do you think he's gonna say next?" So she leans in and whispers in that sexy way only a woman can whisper. She leans in and she says, "I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm married, and my husband just walked in." Now, what I should have said was, "How dare you, madam, use my body to fulfill some sort of weird fantasy? If you want to end your marriage, you do it like a human being with words and not with my body. How dare you?" What I did say was, "Oh, good. You can see him too." So after that, I immediately went back to London, because you cannot stay in the same country as that man. And I was dejected and confused. I found myself in the W.H. Smith in King's Cross Station. And this story takes place around the time the Hobbit movie, the second one, came out. And they did this weird thing where they set up displays and had W.H. Smith employees read from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit to promote the book. And I was in this weird, like, serotonin level dropping phase, come off the train, and something about it was so soothing. I'm sitting there listening to the book being read, and we're joined by some nerds. And not those normal nerds you know from Big Bang Theory with a little witticism about comic books and a girlfriend that's real. No. Real nerds with back knee that's covered up by a leather jacket. Shut the fuck up. It's not like it's a bad thing. It just means that they eat more pizza than most. intentional ponytails, fresh from an email correcting someone's grammar, and we're all listening to The Hobbit being read, and then this woman walks up and she points directly at the woman reading the book and goes, "Excuse me, miss, you should not be reading that book to these children. That is a very negative book. That book has no positive female characters whatsoever." And one of the nerds breaks from the group with a confidence not usually seen from his people. Gets face to face with the woman and says, "Excuse me, miss, that is J.R.R. Tolkien's seminal classic, The Hobbit. The reason there are no female characters in it are thus. 1, it's about a dragon named Smaug. Smaug is a male dragon, it's only male dragons thirst for gold. 2, it's about a group of dwarves. Those dwarves are male dwarves, because only male dwarves go above the surface of the earth and not be turned to stone by the moonlight. And 3, it's about a male hobbit, because only male hobbits could leave the Shire at that time in the history of Middle-earth and not risk being raped and murdered by orcs." Do you want to see a bunch of female hobbits get raped and murdered? I don't fucking think so. Learn how to act. She walked away very confused. He rejoined the group, and I couldn't believe it, but I turned to him, hit him on the arm, and said, "Mate, you totally could have fucked her." Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely night.
Hastings, everyone! Totally bizarre coincidence. I was the girl at the party when he was on mushrooms. But anyway, we're gonna have an interval now, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with your headline acts one more time for John Hastings. We'll see you in a little bit.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you got empty bottles, jugs, glasses,